Are they going to be pinned to the top?
Or I will pin them with you when I do. We don't pin them actually. Do you want them to be pinned? I can
No,
pin both the timer and the speaker.
I just need to be sure I can see the timer. So
Okay.
however you do it.
So you can pin the video yourself. I think that's the best.
Yep, that's the
thing to do.
Right. Okay, then that's what I'll do. That's what I asked. So let me find the timer. Who is Sujin? Guest. There we go.
Sarah, do you want to be the SAA or do you want me to be the SAA today?
I guess I can practice. I just introduce.
Yes, the president, Renee.
Are we starting?
Hi, Gavin. Yes.
Hi, Abhijit.
Hello, sir.
Okay, cool. So welcome everyone to Women Lead Toastmasters. Our president, Renee Yao, will introduce today's meeting.
Thank you, everyone. I am now going to share my screen. Give me a signal when you guys can see it. Oh. What happened to it? Give me 1 second. Sorry, technical difficulties. It just went away. Okay. All right. Let me share my screen now. Can you guys see it?
Yes.
Okay, great. Perfect. Thank you. All right. So thank you, everyone, for joining our meeting. For those first time joining us, we are Women Lead Toastmasters. And LEAD stands for Leadership, Empowerment, Advancement, and Diversity. You can check us out on the womenleadtm.com is our webpage. We mainly offer on a bi-weekly basis. Our main event is a public speaking Toastmaster evening like today. And we also have women empowerment insights listed on our blog webpage and also our pop-up workshops on a monthly basis. You can find that on our webpage. And we are officially chartered. Thank you everyone for your support. And we chartered officially on January 20th, Inauguration Day. What a great day. And I want to thank all of the new officers for your support, and also please welcome and congratulate our new officers for the next 6 months, and that you will see many of them in this meeting and hopefully be friends with them after as well. And here is our Slack channel. If you'd like to join our conversation, please take a screenshot of this and I will send the link after my portion of the presentation. And today's theme is meaningful goals. A goal without a plan is just a wish. And you guys probably have saw a great deal of insights from Shoba's blog as well. At the bottom of that blog is our agenda for today. And I will send out this link immediately after this. And thank you guys for your short attentions right here. And let me pass it back to the Toastmaster for today.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to today's Toastmaster meeting. The theme for today is meaningful goals. How do you set and fulfill meaningful goals? For me, meaning from a goal comes from how it changes my behavior. I like my goals to be easy enough that I feel like achieving them, but hard enough that I would push myself more than I would without the goal itself. What brings meaning to your goals? With that question in mind, let's kickstart today's meeting. First up, we have Deepa giving us the leader profile of the day. Over to you, Deepa.
Thank you, Madam Toastmaster. A civil rights activist, a poet, a writer. Hello, everybody. My name is Deepa. And today I am proud to be profiling the leader of the day. And also in honor of the Black History Month, I have chosen the leader to be Maya Angelou. Maya Angelou was born in 1928 and made a career for herself in creative arts, which spanned over 50 years. In the span of those 50 years, she wrote many books, wrote many poems, and was awarded with close to 50 honorary degrees. Her life was not easy. Early in her life, she worked as a sex worker and was sexually abused by her mother's boyfriend. Despite these hurdles, she came up and crossed each of these hurdles to become the first Black women author whose book was listed in New York Times bestsellers list for 2 years continuously and was also nominated in the 1970s for the Booker Prize. She is perhaps most well known for a poem on the pulse of morning, which she composed and delivered during President Clinton's inauguration ceremony. She was also awarded with the Presidential Medal of Freedom by President Barack Obama. She is a personal favorite poet of mine. And I just want to close our leader profile of the day with a few lines of her poem, Still I Rise. You may write me down in history with your bitter lies. You may trod me in the very dirt, but still, like dust, I'll rise. Leaving behind the nights of terror and fear, I rise. Into a daylight that's wondrously clear, I rise. Bringing bringing the gift my ancestors gave. I am the dream and the hope of of the slave. Still I rise, still I rise, still I rise. Thank you very much, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Deepa. Maya is a personal favorite of mine as well. And uh, The Phenomenal Woman is my favorite poem, right? And it's a great one. Um, Next up, I'd like to introduce the important role bearers for the meeting. Beginning with the timer, Sujin, can you introduce the timer role for us?
Sujin had some difficulty. I will take over the timer role. As a timer, I'm going to time the speeches, mostly the prepared. Oh, Sujit, go ahead.
Sorry, I didn't know that I was on mute. Sorry. Okay. Yeah, I'm today's timer, and I would like to share time rules for today's meeting. And for speech, it is 5 to 7 minutes. So you will see green background after 5 minutes, and yellow after 6, and then red after 7. For icebreaker speech, it is 4 to 6 minutes. So you will see green after 4 minutes, and then yellow after 5, and red after 6. For evaluation, you will see green background after 2 minutes, and then yellow after 2 minutes and 30 seconds, and then red after 30 minutes. For table topics, you will see green background after 1 minute, and then yellow after 1 and 30 seconds, and then red after 2 minutes. So your talk will be qualified if it is between 30 seconds before green background and then red, 30 seconds after red. Okay, thank you. Back to Toastmasters.
Thank you, Sujin. Next up, we have the grammarian of the day, and that is Shashi.
Hello everyone, and today's word is going to be equanimity. You can see it on the background of my screen. Equanimity means steadiness of mind under stress, or it's mental calmness, composure, and evenness of temper, especially in difficult situation. Synonyms would be calm, calmness, and composure. Yeah, so I'll be the grammarian today. And yeah, thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Shashi. This is the first time I'm being a Toastmaster, so I'm pretty nervous, but I intend to proceed with equanimity. So next up, we have the R counter, Vicky.
Hi, I'm Vicky. I would be the R counter for my second time. My role is to catch any filler words like you know, so, and tongue clicks when we speak. I think that's all. Thank you, Madam Toastmaster.
Finally, it's time to introduce the general evaluator. Shobha is our general evaluator today. Shobha, can you introduce your role for us?
Yes, thank you, Madhu. I'll be the general evaluator today, and my role is evaluating the whole meeting as such and running the evaluation session of the meeting. So I'll give my review towards the end. Thank you. Back to you, Madhu.
Thank you, Shobha. We have 4 very exciting speeches lined up today. So let's not waste any time and jump right in. Our first speaker is Priya. Her evaluator is Anita. Anita, can you please share the purpose of Priya's speech?
Definitely, Madam Toastmaster. Welcome everybody this evening. I'm excited to introduce Priya, who is embarking on her Toastmasters journey. She will be giving her first project from Persuasive Influence, and it is an icebreaker. She will introduce herself to the club. What I will watch for is equanimity during the delivery of the speech. I will look for the organization of the speech, and I'll give her some helpful tips that she can incorporate in her next project. The title for her speech is Choose Wisely and Stick to It. Back to you, Madam Toastmasters.
Thank you, Anita. Our next speaker, as Anita introduced, is Priya Shastri, who will give us the icebreaker speech. Priya shares with us the story of when she came to America in 2001 and how, through her experiences of buying a car, she learned the importance of choosing a positive emotion before taking an action. Taking decisions independently requires a lot of courage. Please help me welcome Priya Shastri. Priya Shastri, choose wisely and stick to it. Choose wisely and stick to it, Priya Shastri.
Thank you, Madam Toastmasters. It's an honor to be here and present my first icebreaker speech. The year was 2001. That was the first time I'd stepped outside the comfort of my home into the vast wild world. There were a lot of thoughts running through my mind. The only consolation I had was I knew which university I was going to and who would be my roommate. The flight landed, and I was glad to be picked up by a friendly face from the Indian Students Association. He quickly picked my luggage and put me in the car to take me to the apartment. On the way, he explained how things here are different from back home. He said he has a car, so he saves some time doing groceries just once a week. So the first thought that occurred to my mind is I should get a car if I want to be independent. Then courses started. I took a part-time job to pay for my expenses, and I bought a car. The excitement of buying a car for the first time, I tell you, I was so happy. The car was beautiful to look at, gray in color, no dents and scratches, with clean interiors. The first people to get a ride in my car were, of course, my roommates. My roommates hopped into the car, and our jolly ride was going from home to campus and back. On the way, there were people walking on the sidewalks who were looking at us. We almost felt like movie stars. Word quickly spread that I had bought a car. So we used to give rides to people going to airport and doing the groceries once a week. The car worked like a charm. I called my parents and I excitedly told them, I have bought a car, that too with my own savings. My parents were cautious though. They said, please watch for the signs and signals and drive carefully and check the fluid levels and maintain the car. I said, I'm doing all that, don't worry. They were right. 2 months down the line, it was getting colder, and one fine morning, the car wouldn't start. The car broke down. What happened? Something must have gone wrong. It was fine the previous day. I had to run to catch the bus to go to campus because I couldn't miss classes that day. My mind was not there in the classes at all. All the while I was thinking about how do I solve this problem. I thought I had jumped too soon into buying a car. But on the way, I came back and I picked up a Yellow Pages, which was lying on my couch, and I found 3 mechanics who were close to home. So I quickly called up the one who was the closest. He said he can come the next day to look at my car. The wait seemed unending. Luckily, he came the next day. He looked at the car and he said, the oil levels are low and the wires from the batteries to the engine are broken, and I'll fix them. I was relieved. One problem solved. After half an hour, he comes back and he tells me that there is some more bad news. I said, what is the problem now? He said, the car needs to be taken to the mechanic shop because I'm not sure if this has solved the problem. So I quickly hopped into the car and we drove to the mechanic shop. He pushed the car on the shaft and I could see the interiors of the car from beneath. It seemed all right. After one whole hour, he came back and he said, I think there is a problem with the ignition circuit and it needs to be replaced. My heart broke. I cursed myself. All that happiness 2 months back that I had for buying the car, that was completely gone. He said, he quoted a price which was to repair the car, which was much larger than what I paid for the second-hand car. I was in tears. I thought I should just drop the car at the mechanic and walk away. Then I said, let me maintain some equanimity and let me tell him that I am a student. I have to pay my bills. So I do a part-time job. This car is only a mode of convenience. He understood my position and he lowered the cost. And he fixed the car. I happily drove back home. That incident taught me how I should be more careful before I jump into actions. I had to choose wisely the emotion that I picked while handling my difficult situation. Every day in life, we have several options to choose to carry on every action. It can be happy, sad, angry, calm, smart, or emotional. The kind of emotion that you choose helps you to progress through the day. Communication with comprehension is key. And explaining your situation to people around you helps you to get through to a favorable solution. So always choose wisely and stick to it. Thank you.
Thank you, Priya. Can the timer give us a minute so that we can all give Priya some feedback?
It's 5 minutes, 7 seconds.
Sujin,
So
your videos did not seem to be on during her speech.
Oh, really?
Yeah, so just keep your video on throughout.
Oh, okay. Okay, got it. I didn't know that. Sorry.
So I meant a 1 minute timer now. You can give the report in the end. So a 1 minute timer now just to give us some time to write feedback for Priya, which is in the chat.
I put in the evaluation form in the chat, so please use the form.
So 1 minute is over.
Thank you, Sujan. Our next speaker is Samantha. Karen is her evaluator. Karen, can you please share the purpose of Samantha's speech?
I have to apologize that I do not know which speech she is giving. So Samantha, what speech are you giving?
This is the research speech, level 1.
Ah, is this the one you give twice?
No, the one after that.
Ah, okay. So this is a speech, I really love this speech actually, where you need to research a topic and then, show your research in the speech. And it's really a good way to practice. It's a good speech for work-related speech, right? Because often you have to support your findings and where you got this information. And so that's the piece that they're looking for in this speech. And it's 5 to 7, is that correct, Samantha?
Yes.
Awesome.
Thank you, Karen. Despite growing up in the suburbs of Utah, Samantha has always owned chickens and over the years has found a deep love for the small farm animal. She is going to talk to us today about the benefits and the reasons for starting and owning a flock of chickens. Backyard chickens, Samantha Jamwal, backyard chickens.
Thank you, Toastmaster. My love for chickens started when I was 8 and my family got its first flock. There were 3 hens that were appropriately named the Dixie Chicks. I, along with my siblings, fed them, replaced their water, and collected eggs every morning. They were incredibly mean, but I thought they just looked so cool. I always wanted chickens, so when I got my first home, I wanted to have them. But I didn't realize what it actually took to own chickens. Today, I want to tell you all the benefits of owning chickens and the pitfalls of owning them, along with what it actually takes and costs to care for these feathered reptilians. Backyard chickens have gained a lot of traction in the last 20 years, and while they may look gross and creepy, they offer plenty of benefits. According to a study done by Mother Earth News, chickens raised on more than just grain and allowed to roam free have much more nutritious eggs. Their eggs can have 30% less cholesterol, 25% less saturated fat, 66% more vitamin A, 2 times more omega-3, and 3 times more vitamin E. You can even see the difference in the yolk. Eggs bought at the store have a yellow yolk, while eggs from free-roam chickens have closer to a dark orange yolk. And this makes sense when you consider the next benefit of chickens. They are a natural compost. American households produce 150,000 tons of waste a year, or a day. A recent study done in 2018
2018, funded by the United States Department of Agriculture, found that healthy people were the ones to throw out the most waste. And what do healthy people eat? They eat fruits and vegetables. Chickens will eat anything from bread, pasta, meat, to veggies and fruit. Having chickens can also help ease your conscience because you know how your chickens are being treated. They are actually one of the easier farm animals to care for. Now, I can't just tell you the benefits without telling you the drawbacks of these dinosaur descendants. One of the big issues with them is the smell and the space needed to house them. According to knowyourchickens.com, each chicken needs about 2 to 3 square feet inside the chicken coop and 8 to 10 square feet outside the chicken coop. If you choose to let them roam anywhere in your yard, expect poop to be everywhere. On the plus side though, your yard will be well fertilized. Chickens are mean, not just to humans, but to other chickens as well. Chickens have a pecking order, and seeing feather picking and bullying is not uncommon. They're also loud. Most cities do not allow for roosters, but hens can make a surprising amount of noise when they squeeze eggs out. There is also a problem with other animals. Chickens are a good food source for many predators. Possums, foxes, birds of prey, and coyotes, just to name a few. The food from their coop can attract rodents. You also have to be sure that your animal can handle chickens. A lot of dog breeds will attack and kill chickens. Lastly, they are unfortunately not the cheaper option. Buying eggs in the store is much cheaper than owning chickens, and eventually your chickens will stop producing eggs. Then you're just stuck with a freeloader for 2 to 3 years. According to backyardchickens.com, a forum for people who love backyard chickens, average cost of a chicken coop is $500. The cost of feed and maintenance per month is $25, and chickens can cost anywhere from $3 a piece to $30 a piece. But let's say you do want to start a flock of your own, and all of the negatives that I just told you did not deter you. First, look into your county and city codes on chickens. There can be requirements on the amount of land needed, the number of chickens allowed, and how far the coop must be from your house. Like in Seattle, you're allowed up to 8 chickens on a lot smaller than 10,000 square feet. In Oakland, you can have the coop no less than 20 feet from any dwelling, school, or church. County and city codes can change all of the time, so you need to be sure that you have the most up-to-date information. Now, you need to build or buy a coop to store your chickens. Again, according to the experts at backyardchickens.com, you can spend anywhere from free to $2,000 on a chicken coop. For instance, Williams-Sonoma has a chicken coop for only $2,199. You can also find free chicken coop plans with a very quick Google search. Then it's my personal favorite step, is buying your chickens and the chicken feed. I recommend getting chicks instead of fully grown chickens. They're super cute as little chicklings, and getting them young will help them establish a pecking order. So you will have to be sure to buy a few. There's a lot more to buying and caring specifically for baby chicks, so be sure to do some research before you take the plunge. Then you need to look into what type of chicken you want. The color of eggs, frequency of egg laying, personality, and the average age of the chicken, not to mention the look of the chicken, can all be different depending on the breed. There are a lot of resources online to help people learn about what it takes to own chickens and if it's right for you. As it turns out, after looking into it, I realized that now was not the time or the place to raise chickens. So my dream will have to be put on hold for now. But my love for these small feathered beauties will go on. Thank you. Madam Toastmaster?
Thank you, Samantha. I will never look at a chicken the same way again. Our next speaker is Helen Josephine. Her evaluator is Lakshmi. Lakshmi, can you please share the purpose of Helen's speech?
It takes all kinds. What a catchy title. Okay, Helen is going to give a speech related to her pathway, presentation mastery, level 2, understand your communication style. I'm sure we will be benefited in some way or the other by listening to the speech very carefully. And I hope my feedback is accepted equanimity. Thank you. With equanimity. Sorry.
Thanks, Lakshmi. Helen Josephine has been a member of Toastmasters for 7 years. She is working on level 5 of innovative planning and level 2 of presentation mastery. Helen is a retired librarian. She recently moved from Santa Cruz Mountains to Concord. In this speech, she is working on vocal variety and hand gestures using Zoom. Helen Josephine, it takes all kinds. It takes all kinds, Helen Josephine.
Thank you, Toastmaster and guests. I'm sure you've heard the phrase, it takes all kinds. And it does, especially in work groups where you need a lot of variety of people from different cultures and heritages. It also takes all kinds, different kinds of communication styles and leadership skills in work groups, in organizations. I'm sure many of you work in high-tech firms and you're very familiar with the type A personality. The D on the DISC scale, dominant know-it-alls who let you know every day that they are the ones who have all the answers. I'm not an A. I'm not a D. I'm a C on the DISC scale. Overlooked and undervalued, a conscientious C. Empathetic, listen carefully, and precise. When I worked at the Intel library, I was a mid-level manager, and I asked to be involved in a Managing Through People program that Intel was running. It's a 1-week boot camp held at the Chaminade Resort in Santa Cruz. Of course, there was pre-work and 360 evaluations just to get in the program. On the first day, we registered and were assigned to our teams of 10 mid-level managers from across the company. There were about 60 of us in the program. At dinner, at that lunch on the first day, I realized I was way over my head and lost among the participants. Right away, I noticed first that there were less than 5% women at the event. And it seemed that everyone was a type A personality. There were plenty of egos on display. We got to our teams at lunch, and our first exercise was to take the DISC personality scale test and then share the results with all of our team members. No surprise, I was a lone C at the table. Conscientious, sympathetic, steady, among all of the type A's and type D's at the table. Direct, forceful, wanting to get their way, and results oriented. I was in trouble. I knew immediately. Throughout the week, during our programs and exercises, I started to feel somewhat talked over, undervalued, and ignored. What was going on? Every time I made a suggestion, no one really listened. But when a type A made the same suggestion, everyone thought it was a great idea. Was I not communicating? Was I speaking a different language entirely? In a sense, yes. I was communicating as a type C, more empathetic. I like to listen carefully, formulate my reply, think about the feelings of other people. The type D, type A's would just blurt out whatever they thought immediately. And of course, they were so forceful, everyone would agree with it and they would be done. I was thinking, wait a minute, what's happening here? As the week went on, I started to get a little bit more comfortable. I started to feel that some of my ideas were being heard, but I thought I still had a lot to learn. We were told that the last exercise given to us on Thursday was the final test of all of our abilities, our leadership styles, our ability to communicate. It was all on the line. I was starting to worry. Was I going to hold the team back? Could I even have a voice in what was being said? I wasn't sure if I was cut out for this. So on Thursday, after lunch, we got our workbooks. And then something unbelievable happened. I was given the leadership role. Me, the quiet one. I couldn't believe it. I was terrified. We opened our workbooks, looked around the table, and immediately the type Ds and As pounced. They wanted to take the leadership role. I was having a revolt in my team. I couldn't believe it. They wanted to take over. They wanted to show me who was boss. I sat quietly, and then I got up from the table and took a long walk all the way around the ballroom. And while I was walking, they were watching me, and I was thinking to myself, this is the worst day of my life. I could fail here and everyone would be in trouble, including me. Or I could rise to the challenge and really take the leadership role. Just then, the workshop leader came up to me. He was the one who had nominated me to run this exercise. I said to him, "This is the worst day of my life." He said to me, "No, it isn't. I've been watching you all week. You're ready for this. You can do it." I smiled back at him and said, "You're right. I can do it. And your support just confirmed that." Exactly what a C like me needed to hear. I went back to the table, sat down, took control of the team, and we started our process and our exercise. I used the new leadership skills that I learned that day, and I was also able to use my communication styles that I was so comfortable with, giving everyone a chance to have their voice heard. Process, thinking through things clearly, looking at problems from different sides and weighing the best and the worst to get to the decision. It was quite an accomplishment, I felt. Looking back on that experience 15 years ago, I learned a lot about myself, and I learned a lot about the fact that it takes all kinds and an appreciation of all kinds for work groups to be successful and for me to be successful. Mr. Toastmaster.
Thank you, Helen. That was a really inspirational story, which I'm sure many of us could totally relate to here. Uh, let's take 2 minutes. I did miss the speech feedback section last time, so let's take 2 minutes to give both Helen and Samantha our feedback. Timer, could you give us 2 minutes?
Yeah. Mhm. Okay, Madam Toastmaster, 2 minutes is over.
Thank you, Sujin. It's time for our final speech. Our final prepared speaker today is Shannon. Renee is her evaluator. Renee, can you share the purpose of her speech?
Of course. Shannon's speech is for evaluation and feedback. And the purpose of this project is for Shannon to present a speech on any topic, receive feedback, and apply the feedback to her second speech. The talk title is Finding the Right Problem to Solve. Time is 5 to 7 minutes. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thanks, Renee. Shannon is applying for a lightning talk, a 5 to 10 minute talk at the upcoming Women in Product Virtual Summit. The conference theme is Ignite Possibilities, and she will be speaking on career advancement. Tonight, she asked you to put yourself in that audience as she shares her story of finding the right problem to solve. Shannon Roberts, Finding the Right Problem to Solve. Finding the right problem to solve, Shannon Roberts.
Thank you. I believe that the key to finding a fulfilling product management position is finding the problem that you're passionate about it and going all in. Tonight, I'm going to share my story about how I found the problem that I wanted to solve, validated that problem, and then added constraints to increase the success of my journey. 1 year ago today, I was feeling so burned out. I'd been at the same company for 7 years, worked my way into product management where I'd been for 4 years, but I knew I wanted to be in a different industry. But I didn't even know what I liked anymore. My head was so consumed with thinking about work that I didn't think it was possible for me to know what I wanted to do. So I had the first of my 3 hypotheses. And I like to think in terms of hypotheses because everything's being figured out. This is just my journey. And as an undergraduate in physics, I love the scientific method. So my first hypothesis was that if I took time off, I would have all of this free time and energy to figure out what I wanted to do next. And in reality, that's not quite what happened. I had what you could consider the best timing or the worst timing, but I started my sabbatical right at the start of the pandemic. And that first month, I just had thoughts of, coronavirus and, everything's going horrible. And I knew I needed more time. And even before this, friends who'd taken sabbaticals had told me I'd need more time. So I'm here to tell you, even if there's not a pandemic, you're going to need more time. And for me, it was kind of right around 4 months. At 3 months, I'd really said, hey, take a step back, stop doing so many projects, stop doing all of this, and really go into my values. And what kept coming up was, this value of the environment. And I was looking around for problems, and it was the summer of all the wildfires in California. And it really spoke to me of the most important problem right now is climate. And when I had this realization and I said it, I want to work in climate change, it just felt right in my body. I felt an immense sense of equanimity. I knew it's what I wanted to do. And in hindsight, it almost seemed obvious. And that's some of the best strategy, that once you see it, you're like, oh, of course I want to do that. And so then my next hypothesis was, whoa, I think I can get a job in climate. And of course, this seems obvious now, but I actually, after college, I wanted to do this. I wanted to work in sustainability. I went and networked, but I kind of hit this door or more of a wall. The door would not open. And it seemed like there wasn't a lot of investment in climate tech. And now I was doing this research and saw this graph of investment that bottomed out right in 2013. So it showed me, yes, before, it seemed like it was hard to break in, but now look around what Google is doing and Amazon is doing. And, the letter from BlackRock CEO, climate is going to become important everywhere. And I really wanted to work on it. Additionally, and my background is not in that, but with the pandemic, there was some opportunity to go to conferences. I went to this solar conference, got my $25 unemployed ticket. And as I'm at this conference, I realized, you know, there's work that needs to be done here. I started to learn the terms and got really energized. So then my third hypothesis, and I should say at this point, I've been unemployed for probably 6 months, and I'm like 2 months into a serious job search. I decide to add constraints. So I tell myself, everyone I talk to, I'm going to tell them that I want to work in climate. And, you know, I also narrowed it down to like, you know, grid technology and solar, and that's what I was really interested in. But I told everyone. And at first I kind of thought, well, aren't I limiting myself? Like, what if someone has this great job at another company? But the truth was, I didn't want to just work at any company. And when you're networking, people want something to go off. You know, they might have a cousin or a friend, but if you just say, hey, I'm open to anything, it's really hard to act on that. So adding the constraint really helped me. In fact, one of my favorite examples is I was on a just kind of a chat, you know, coffee chat with someone at a company, completely different industry, and I just threw it into my intro. You know, this is about me. I do hardware, software, and I'm really interested in working on something to do climate change in addition to this. And at the end of our little chat, she said, hey, I'd be happy to help you here, but I have a friend actually who works at this other company, and she encouraged me to, and she connected us, and now I'm interviewing there. So I think as product people, we do understand this. If you're trying to launch a product, you don't go and say, yes, this is perfect for everyone. Everyone wants to buy this product. No, you say, okay, here's the segment, you know, geographical, age or something. And it's not to say that if someone else comes and says, I want to give you so much money for it, you don't totally ignore them. But, you know, you go in that direction, and adding constraint is definitely helpful. So I'd like to leave you guys with my new favorite definition of a product manager. This was just released in the Cracking the PM interview, or not interview, but PM career by the same authors. And they define the product manager as the person on the team who defines the problem to go after, defines success, and then leads the team there. So I want to remind all of you as product people, at the end of the day, you can product manage your career and choose the problem that you're the most passionate about. And I encourage you to take that direction. Thank you. Back to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Shannon. Thank you for breaking it down so beautifully. It all fit in greatly. Let's take a minute to give Shannon some feedback.
Okay, Madam Toastmaster, so 1 minute is up.
Thank you, Sujan. Since we had 4 prepared speeches today, we don't have much time for table topics, but don't lose your equanimity just yet. Instead of table topics, we have a special surprise announcement today. Karen, over to you.
Thank you so much. How are we all doing? That was 4 fantastic speeches, don't you think? Love it. So I think all of you know this club is chartering, in the process of chartering. I don't know if we've actually chartered. Where are we, Renee? It takes time for the
chartered.
Huh?
We officially chartered.
We are officially chartered. So, and I wanted to share with the club, I've been a Toastmaster for 5 years, and I'm a member. This is my third club. And I've been a club coach and an area director, and I've held officer positions. And Renee has done an amazing job at getting this club chartered, an absolutely amazing job. I'm totally impressed with the quality of the meetings, with the organization of the meetings, because a lot of times, if everybody shows up on time, but you're not organized and you don't have all the roles filled, it just doesn't look the same. So this has been absolutely fantastic. And I don't think we can possibly let this moment pass without a celebration. So this is a special club, and I think we need a special award. And there's actually a leader that was in this country who left their own legacy for years of hard work. She bucked the system and she supported underrepresented people. In fact, a few weeks ago, we actually profiled her in the club. So some of you may be figuring out who I'm talking about. And she also left us with a symbol of her legacy. And symbols are a very important part of how we propagate things forward. And it's a symbol that you will all recognize. And in honor of her, I have prepared a gift for Renee that symbolizes, Renee, all of your hard work, your perseverance, your sweat, and the adversities that you have had to overcome to get this club started. And it's, how do you do a surprise in a virtual meeting when you want to hand somebody something real? You actually use the postal service, isn't it? And I see she hasn't opened it yet.
No.
So I think maybe this symbol might become a symbol of the club and help unite us and drive us forward together. Renee, would you please open your package?
Thank you, Karen. And I just want to say, whatever I have in here, I am sharing it with all of my founding members that spend weeks, especially LBG, and Anita and Shoba and Megan and so many of you guys that have helped make this successful, and also the new terms of officers. Karen, this is so great.
All right, take it out, put it on.
She knitted this. Look, gonna be RBG.
All right, everybody unmute and let's give her the round of applause she really deserves.
I'm wearing this on the founding team's behalf. I want to thank everyone, and thank you, Karen, for this thoughtful gesture. And
wear it in faith, in good faith, for everybody.
Thank you.
It looks great on you.
Thank you, everyone. Thank you. It's this is all you guys. You guys believe in the mission and wanted to come and want to make the club very, very high quality and put the underserved topic, move that forward so we can all get a spot to speak. And you guys make this a safe place. Cannot do it without every single one of you. So Karen, I'm sharing this gift with everyone on this call, and I want to thank you for such a thoughtful gesture to make this work for us.
I love this club. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thanks, Karen, and thanks, Renee. It's now time to move on to the general evaluator and the evaluations for the day. Shubha, do you want to lead the meeting now?
Thank you, Madhu. And before we proceed with the evaluation session, congratulations, Renee, on chartering the club. And that's a great gift, Karen. And it really suits Renee. Thanks a lot for both of you for doing great work. Now we move on to the evaluation portion of the meeting. Our first speaker today was Priya Shastri, who spoke about how to choose wisely and not just leaving it there, how to stick to it as well. To evaluate her speech, we have Anita, who is also one of the founding members of this club and who has been with the club from day one, along with Renee. Anita, can you please switch on and evaluate Priya's speech?
Most definitely. Thank you, Priya, and congratulations on embarking on your Toastmasters journey. You demonstrated equanimity in delivering your speech, You were very confident and well prepared for delivering the speech. I liked you as a storyteller because as you were talking about your experiences from the day you landed here at the airport and had experiences of riding in the car with your with the student who picked you up and then going for grocery shopping to your car experience. So it was like I was right in your shoes, experiencing each and every moment. So you did very well in storytelling, and we were able to understand like how you came into this country and dealt with and and went through the experience of buying your first car. And as I'm looking at your for your next project, there were certain areas for development that I wanted you to think about. The first is during your transitions, as you were transitioning from one part of your speech to the next, we could hear some heavy breathing. So you might want to practice some pauses and calm yourself down. Just slow down a little bit and calm yourself down. That will help with that heavy breathing that the audience would hear during Zoom. The second part that I wanted to talk about was one thing which is very important is to engage the audience with a hook. So you had a particular theme for your story. You ended beautifully with that theme. So instead of starting with fellow Toastmasters or starting with your own introductions, my suggestion to you is dive or start directly with a hook to engage your audience and then start your story. That way audience will be more engaged and then they will follow you along. So as I saw you, like you have a strength in building out your stories. You do well there. You were looking beautifully within your camera right at the audience. So you engaged your audience with your eye contact. So those were some of the strengths that you had as part of delivering your speech. For next projects, I would say add a bit more vocal variety to calm your nerves, add few pauses and slow down a bit. To challenge yourself, there were add more vocal variety. And then there were two places or instances where you could add role play to make the speech more interesting. So the two specific instances in this speech I would give you is when you were having your dialogue with your parents about you buying a car and their concern, you could change your voice and change it into an interaction between a parent and a daughter. And the second instance where you could have made it very much interesting and engage the audience is when you were having the conversation with a mechanic. And that's where you could have added the role play and added some more vocal variety there. Overall, congratulations on your starting your Toastmasters journey. And I'm looking forward to your more speeches. Thank you.
Thank you, Anita. Our second speaker for today was Samantha, who spoke about her backyard chickens. As much as we enjoyed the speech, I'm sure we are going to enjoy the evaluation too from Karen. Let's welcome Karen.
Thank you, Shobha. Samantha, what a comprehensive presentation you gave. I don't think I've ever heard more about chickens in 5 to 7 minutes. That was super awesome. And this was a research project, so you quoted at least 3 sources, and there might have been more. And you also included your own personal experience. Now, most good speeches include personal experience, and that's what really connects you to your audience. You gave us a ton of facts about the benefits of free-range chicken eggs. But you gave them so many so fast, I couldn't possibly remember them. This would be a good area to have a slide. to show all those facts, because then people are mentally, they're hearing it, but they're also seeing it with their eyes. So you're using two of the pieces. So that would be a place where you've got a lot of data. You may want to present a slide to people. You went through a loose structure, and for this kind of a speech where you're citing research, you might have tightened your structure up just a little bit. So you went through the benefits of the eggs, and then you went through what do you need. You did what are chicken behaviors. You had some and then economics. So it might have been good if you had taken that structure and told us that you were going to use it. Right? I'm going to go through the benefits of the eggs, what you need to do to keep a chicken coop, what kind of things you might expect, and the dollars and cents. Does this really make sense? And then gone through those things, and then you could use that as the summary, right? To say these are the things that I just covered, because it was fascinating and very good information for all of us. Now, there's one place, or there's actually a couple of places, you were kind of frozen in your frame, right? You didn't move. You have a lot of room in this little box that you can use. So and there's really two directions. You can kind of do this side to side. And I visually imagined you honestly chasing chickens, and I thought that would be pretty hilarious. Okay, because you need a little laughter in your speech, right? So I'm thinking about chicken chasing there. But don't forget that you can also go up and you can whisper, and that has a whole different impact. So those are a couple of things that you could add to improve your speech. Now, if you really wanted to go to the next level with your speech, include your own personal stories. You owned chickens, right? So you must have hilarious chicken stories. Now, some of us have trouble seeing humor in the stories, but let me tell you, the time the chicken got in the house and my great aunt was there at 85 and she started whacking it with her cane, or even if they're not real, you can tell stories like that to really emphasize a point, because chickens are hilarious. My neighbors have chickens, or had chickens, and they were most mortified when one day one of the chickens woke up and discovered that he was a rooster. And this, of course, started at 5 a.m. He started right with that rooster call. And that will help you add vocal variety into your speech too. So I highly encourage you to embellish your speeches a little bit more and chase a few chickens. It was an excellent speech. And does this finish level 1 for you? So I think a round of applause is due for her to finish level 1. That's a big deal. Awesome. Thank you.
Thank you, Karen. We heard about cars and chickens, and we know it takes all kinds in this world as proven. So to evaluate actually Helen's speech, it takes all kinds. We have Lakshmi. Lakshmi?
Helen, I'm a type C personality when I'm around my husband's colleagues. I just can't understand what they're saying, so I can totally relate to your experience. I enjoyed listening to your voice modulations, especially when you said, "This is the worst day of my life." It really made us feel how you felt on that day 15 years back. The story built up from how you grew from an unsure participant to a well-groomed leader was built so beautifully with examples like how you felt terrified, and finally how you used your communication skill to make other people look at the problem and solve it also. So that was great. And I liked the way you rolled your eyes when you said you were terrified. That was really beautiful. I would have enjoyed more if there were more hand gestures. I think initially the speech, you were a little bit tense. So I think that's why you were not moving your hands around. But afterwards, you rocked. You really did well. Next time, I personally think a little bit more practice will help. That's all. Otherwise, the speech was so beautifully done. I really like the title. It was so catchy and so different. And I was sitting on the edge, waiting to hear if it's going to be a judgmental kind of a speech or a non-judgmental, or is it going to be related to diversity? So it was obviously related to diversity topic, but that title made me, I just wanted to listen to what exactly it was. So it was beautiful. Overall, it was a very beautifully presented speech. And next time I meet my friends, my husband's friends, I know how to communicate them. Thank you, Helen.
Thank you, Lakshmi. Our final speaker of the day was Shannon. Her speech was about finding the right problem to solve and how to attack it as well. To evaluate her speech, we have Renee. Let's welcome Renee.
Shannon, a stellar product manager can masterfully position product to the right user. And I thought you did a great job positioning you, Shannon, a climate change advocate product manager, in front of your audience preparing for the conference. Well done. There are many great parts about your speech. My top two favorite, first one including your personal story, especially on the part where you set the constraint and ended up getting where the intro to for your next potential job. And the second thing, what you did brilliantly was using vulnerability as strength in your speech. The part about the $25 non-employment ticket to go to a conference, it could be seen as a vulnerability, but you use it as a way of showing how a great product manager is usually pretty good at hustling. And you did that very well. Thank you for sharing some of the more vulnerable moments the past couple months in your life. And there's some potential improvement that you could consider to improve your speech if you still have a couple days or months to prepare. First of all is memorization, which falls into the preparation category. I did see your notebook that probably didn't really need to be in the screen, right? And you also have a couple favorite filler words, but, and, Those are your top three. And I think the grammarian, the counter will point that out later as well. The second part that you could potentially consider improving on is the organization of your speech. I wasn't quite clear what was the second hypothesis. I heard the first and then I heard the third, and second was kind of blurred in between. So if you decide to take the three hypotheses as your skeleton of your speech, consider spelling that out more clearly. Alternatively, you could even use the definition of the PM. Remember define the problems and then define success and lead a team. Those three could also be a skeleton of your speech, and then you round it up perfectly with the definition of product manager. Or you could strongly focus on the title, finding the right problem. Do the before and after. What does it take to find the right problem? When you don't, why that is a devastating outcome. And either approach, I just listed 3 ways that could potentially make your speech a lot more organized throughout. And it would be a lot easier for the audience to grasp as well. The best part about your speech is your courage to chase what you love, which is the climate change product manager. And in conclusion, I really love the best part about your speech, which includes your personal story, using vulnerability as a strength, potential improvement, including more preparation and potentially more organization in your speech. And your courage to chase your dream is very inspiring. Don't give up. Best of luck to land that dream job, and best of luck presenting at that conference. I'm sure your audience will love whatever you have to give them and to share with them your insights and learning. Thank you. Back to you, Madam Toastmaster.
Thank you, Renee.
Jenna.
That's okay. We got it covered. I would like to call upon the various functionaries for the day. Timer, Sujin, can you please give your timers report on the speeches as well as the evaluations?
Right, thank you, Madam Toastmasters. Madam Toastmasters. So Priya's icebreaker was 5 minutes by 57 seconds, and Samantha's speech was 5 minutes, 58 seconds. And Helen's speech was 8 minutes and 20 seconds. And Shannon's speech was 6 minutes, 24 seconds. For evaluation, first evaluation by Anita was 3 minutes, 50 seconds. And second evaluation by Karen is 4 minutes and 5 seconds. And evaluation 3 by Lakshmi is 2 minutes and 4 seconds. And evaluation 4 by Renee is 3 minutes and 13 seconds.
Thank you, Suji.
Thank you.
Our R counter for the day is Vicky. Let's hear your report.
Thank you, Soba. So I have 1.5 minutes, so I won't elaborate on where these R's are. I will just do a report. Deepa have 1 R. Madhumita has 9 R's. RPG didn't speak too much, so 0. Sujin has 4 R's, 5 N, and 1 tongue click. Sashi has 1 R. Good job. Anita has 5 R's and 1 so. Priya has 1 R. Good job. Samantha, none. Karen has such a engaging speech. I caught a lot. 3 R's, 1 so, 1 so, 1 you know, 2 tongue clicks, and 3 rights. Lashmi, 2 R. Helen, Josephine, good job, none. Renee has 1 R, 2 tongue clicks. Shannon has 2 R's, 4 you know, 3 buts, and 1 repeat. Shobha has 2 tongue clicks, none other. Good job. Thank you, Soba.
Thank you, Vicky. So our grammarian for the day is Sashi. Can we have your report on how many people use the word equanimity? Now, I think I used it by saying how many people use the word equanimity, hopefully. Let's hear your report.
So Toastmaster leader used the first equanimity word, saying it's her first day being a Toastmaster, and she is feeling pressurized, and she used the equanimity word. And I even Priya used equanimity in her speech while giving her speech. It's really wonderful. I thought it's a pre-prepared speech, and they don't like use this word. She was using that word, and others also, everyone used this equanimity word a lot. And okay, I'm using so many R's right now while just saying okay. And regarding the other words, Priya had one, like she just gave a really wonderful speech. And only thing I just saw was picked up yellow pages. Maybe it can be replaced by some other word, some other appropriate word. Apart from that, other speakers had a few filler words like sure and but and apart from that, I couldn't find anything else.
Thank you, Sashi. Before returning control back to the president, I just want to review the whole meeting. We started on time, which is excellent. And Renee just took 2 minutes as an introduction slide. And I think that is really helpful so that no precious time is lost in conducting the meeting. That was well done, Renee. And if we look at the timing part of the meeting, Helen, Karen, Anita went overtime. It's interesting that all the veteran seasoned Toastmasters went over time today. I think it could just be that when you're evaluating, you have so many points in your head that you want to convey to them, because we have come a long way from where we started, and we are really eager to mentor others and help them with it. So it does feel like we want to tell everything, and it took a long time. So please be aware of the time and be on the lookout. Just point out just a few points here and there. We can always send an evaluation later. Renee, you were right on dot with your timing. Now, coming to the evaluations as such, I think all the evaluators did a tremendous job, excellent job, because they gave specific points on how to improve. I think that is very key when we are giving an evaluation. And I think they all gave an evaluation without hurting the self-esteem of the speaker. And that's another excellent way of giving an evaluation, which is ideally a sandwich method of saying how they can improve what they were good at and then summarizing the whole evaluation. The reason why I'm pointing all this out is just because we have new members, so you can all learn how to do it. And we did have some very good evaluators today. Other than that, I think everything went on well, especially the timer. I want to appreciate the timer, our counter, and the grammarian, and the Toastmaster Madhu. These are all first time. These are all members who took these roles the very first time, and they did it so well. And this is the most amazing part in this club from what I have seen. Everyone who takes up a role is really committed to it, and they do an excellent job the very first time. Sujin, your timing was perfect. You were on dot. And Vicky, our counter, you noticed even the tongue clicks. I was not aware of it. That's another important point. That's great. Sashi, as grammarian, perfect. You didn't go too overboard in, sometimes grammarian tend to go overboard criticizing people. We don't want that. So you were on dot too. And Madhu, it didn't even feel like it was your first time as Toastmaster. You were very well articulated, and you continued the flow of the whole meeting very well throughout. And that's exactly what is needed for a Toastmaster. A Toastmaster is ideally an MC of the meeting. So perfect. Job well done. And back to you, Renee. Let me give the control back to the president.
Thank you. Thank you. And let me just wrap up the meeting with a quote. A goal should scare you a little and excite you a lot. So hopefully after seeing a lot of great prepared speeches today, you guys will all come participate in our upcoming contest. So here are a couple announcements coming up. Next week, we have Karen, who will be giving a pop-up workshop on unlocking what you can't see. And for those of you who want to participate in a table topic contest, we will stay behind for 15 extra minutes to prep for that if you guys are interested in it. And then February 17th is our regular meeting. So the theme is negotiation. And February 24th is our contest. So the contest will be both international speech and table topic speech contest. All of you guys that participate in any of the speeches, feel free to redo them again. And you do get speech credit as well. And we also have nailed down our March pop-up workshop, Imposter Syndrome. Oops. So feel free to take a look at the meeting link on our Women Lead Toastmaster webpage for more information and continue to be up to date. And now I would like to turn to our guest today for any feedback. I have a few guests today.
We have Gavin. Yeah.
I really enjoyed the whole meeting because I can feel calm, and the organization here is perfect, except about the timing. I believe we have kind of too much to share with each other. A little suggestion is, maybe it's my first time, I shouldn't say a suggestion, but it's about we need to have more excitement, passion. If we have that part, the quality of the meeting will be perfect. Thank you.
Thank you, Gavin. Any other feedback from guests?
Lena, how was your experience?
Yeah, so this is my first time. I think I joined this pretty late. I met Anita a while ago, maybe in 2018 or something, at a talk at McAfee and joining about Toastmaster. I always had this procrastination, but yeah, this was my first time doing it, attending a Toastmaster session. So yeah, looking forward to the next one. Yeah,
Great.
thank you.
Thank you, Lena, for coming. And thank you, Anita, for putting in the good words. Any other ones? Any other new guests? Joanna, Chimak, Fantima. I'll pronounce your name right. Oh, Joanna, it's you. Come a couple
Hi.
days now. Thanks for
I
coming.
had to rush from another open house webinar session in District 4. I love your word of the day, equanimity. It's a challenging one to say, but I am impressed you had 4 speakers. That's jam-packed. That's amazing. And just the incredible balance of people who are starting and people who are so experienced in Toastmasters, what makes your club really stand out.
Thank you, Joanna. Once a month, we do have a speech marathon because of many new members really want to give speeches. So once a month, we do have 3 to 4 speeches during one of the regular Toastmasters meeting. Thank you for coming, especially after an open house as well. Chimak or Fantima, if there's any other feedback. All right. Well, you guys can stay behind as well. We have a lot of officers. I'll stay behind to answer any of your questions, and I'll officially adjourn the meeting. Thank you all for meeting us today, and we will send out some additional blog posts. So watch out for the email, and hopefully we'll see you guys next week for Karen's workshop. Thank you. Bye. Have a good evening.
Yeah. Bye.
Hi, Renee. I had just one question regarding the schedule which you shared earlier in the slide. So what are those pop-up, I don't remember the new names.
Oh, no worries.
Yeah.
So usually we have a regular Toastmasters meeting like today. You will have prepared speeches, and if we don't have like 4 speeches all at once, then if it's 2 speeches, we tend to follow up with table topic masters, a table topic, which you get to participate as an impromptu. So those are kind of like our bi-weekly regular meetings. Pop-up workshops, we specifically design them on a monthly basis, and they tend to be pop-up because our guest speakers or folks like Karen, sometimes they have busy schedule, but we try to keep it at least on a Wednesday. So just watch out for our calendar. We do it like once a month. The workshops specifically are there to hone in on certain skill sets. Like sometimes we'll share with you how to do better evaluation or how to do a humor speech. And Karen can talk a little bit more about your workshop as well. So that's kind of like to enrich your experience.
Thank you, Renee. That helps.
Okay, sounds good. Hope to see you next week. We can take a look at what the workshops are like.
Yeah, definitely. Thanks. Thanks, Abhijit. Thanks, Renee. Thanks.
How are the
Anytime.
contests different from what are contests, I guess?
Well, so the question is, how is the contest speech different from our regular speech? Is that correct?
Or just the meeting, like how is it different? Is it actually a contest? Do people?
Yes. We will have voting. We'll have judges. We'll have 1, 2, 3.
And is it just like this Toastmaster?
Our club. Yes.
Just our club?
Yes.
Okay. Okay.
So yeah.
And the winner then will go up to the next level, and then you guys get to participate in like the area, division, district, and the world champion level. It's gonna be pretty cool.
Yeah. Madhu, I'll invite you to this Friday's Table Topics contest at NVIDIA, where Renee is participating. You should see her in action.
Okay.
Impromptu speeches that I don't get to prepare. But that gives you a flavor of kind of like what a contest look like. It's just a bit more polished and a lot more adrenaline, if you will, because people are really trying to win something. They hope to get to the next level. And there are a lot of people that actually end up preparing a lot for their speeches as well, especially the international speeches. But we'll walk you through the steps as it goes, and you will be very prepared. Don't worry.
Any other
Sarah, I look forward to your participation also.
I didn't even know about this contest till now.
Yeah, we announced it last week, and then we re-announced it this week in case some people had to drop off early last time. And you can check the calendar. It's also already on the calendar as well.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
So it can be any speech.
Any speech. Mostly it's good to be inspirational. Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
And you can search on YouTube, Toastmasters International Speech Contest winner, just to get a feel about like what people talk about. Usually they have a very strong key message, and then they will deliver a speech around the key message. And so people can feel inspired walking away from the message. 5 to 7 minutes as well.
Okay.
There is a guy at work. What he did was from 1995, he has all the final speeches from 1995 to 2020. I'll send you all those YouTube links. So have a look. It's fun to watch them. It is hilarious. They'll make you laugh. They'll make you cry. They'll make you laugh and they excel.
Okay. Cool. Should be inspiring.
Yeah. Hello, Gavin. Yeah, go ahead.
Hi, Gavin.
I think you're on mute, Gavin.
Okay.
You're saying something.
Hi, Abhijit, Renee.
Hi, great to have you here. Do you have any questions or comments or?
No. I just discovered during the transition for different roles, the energy is kind of low, but otherwise the quality for the speeches evaluations are really, really high. And I was pondering over the causation underlying.
Oh, see, one thing is we have new members, right? So they are still getting used to the virtual environment. Like when you are on a virtual environment, now we are seasoned. We have been here for more than 9 months. We know that when we come in, we have to bring in that extra amount of energy just so that we can feel our presence. And right now, we don't want to tell them each and everything right now. We just want to get them to perform their roles very precisely. And slowly we will take them. It's a slow process.
Sure.
The best part of our club is everyone has a mentor. Everyone. We help them out with each and every roles. So things will happen.
Yeah, sure. Yeah, it's all about the connection between among the members. The key is the connection. We are just charted. It takes time. But the quality is really amazing on the very top because I'm a member of 13 clubs, and I know the meeting today, the quality is really, really high.
Thank you, Gavin. Yeah, our mentors are very good, and they really keep the quality of each speeches high, and will continue to show with the new members how to present themselves very energetically in meetings.
And today you should have seen Sam, her first icebreaker. And today I told her, who is this person?
And
it's like, holy cow.
A month difference, I believe.
Yes.
Karen is her mentor. So
No.
Oh, you are. Oh, okay. Great job, Avi. She definitely has changed a lot because she started building in like subtle humor that's already in, and it's great. Yeah, I think we're very proud of everyone's progress. It doesn't matter where you start, as long as you see yourself improve. That's what we really care the most about. And a lot of people start at very different places, so we can't benchmark everyone on the same pedestal, but we hope to continue to take them to the next level that they want to see themselves at. Great. If there are no more questions or comments, reach out to us on Slack or email.
Yes, Lena and I will be in touch. Yeah, I will send you the application form and everything. Okay.
Sure. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Thank you, guys. Have a good evening. Bye.